This movie's just... Hey, it's RJ and this is my first YouTube video and we are going to discuss Chainsaw Man movie, Razor Arc. So let me start by being completely honest. I wasn't prepared for leaving the theater of the Chainsaw Man Razor Arc movie feeling as though I had seen it again and again. Still, here we are. I've already seen this movie 6 times in theaters and I can't seem to get enough. And no, it's not simply for the stunning visuals or the crazy fight scenes, though those are amazing. There's more to this, something that truly spoke to me in a way I wasn't ready for, to the point on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th watch this movie was devastating and so harsh to me. I cried so hard in theaters that you can hear sniffles echo in the theater. And even other people asked, what makes this so good to watch 6 times, let alone make you cry and give you depression? The most recent thing I saw from Tatsuki Fujimoto was Look Back, and it was something I never would have thought he would be so amazing. And he wrote this while writing Chainsaw Man. Fujimoto possesses a remarkable talent for leading you to unexpected places. His work is incredible, emotionally charged, and he crafts intricate and multi-dimensional characters with a brief span. Nonetheless, Chainsaw Man follows the story of Denji, an impoverished teenager who makes a contract that fuses his body with that of Pochita, the dog-like chainsaw devil. With his chainsaw powers, Denji joins a government team that hunts devils, only to realize that the true evil he faces might come from the people around him rather than the monsters themselves. Now, when people hear Chainsaw Man, they say Denji's a gooner who just wants to touch boobs and just sees girls naked, or this is a gooner anime. I'm sorry, but it's not. This continues the journey of Denji in this movie / arc. Is one of the most important arcs not only to Denji, the story itself is one of the most important arcs to not only to Denji for the story itself and how things get ordered from this film, but as well as Reze. Reze is a character that is depicted that is what most people will say is kind and affectionate and easy to bond with, mainly with Denji, and what most guys will say is the perfect girl, which we later see is what everything we see she does is everything Denji's appreciating, and later even questions what his body's doing and trying to restrain his emotion due to his love to Makima. The director is Tatsuya Yoshida, the man you are for this movie. God damn you. He directed some of season 1 Chainsaw Man, but Mappa gave him the freedom and decision-making power is a blessing, as well as just adding changes that help not make the movie better, but the art getting adapted from the manga to the big screen is genius. The pool scene where you see a spider and a butterfly is so smart and symbolically beautiful to see, and later you see the butterfly get closer and feel more trapped due to the spider trapping it. Leaves you the question not if Denji's being pulled and manipulated, but vice versa with Reze, as well as the end of the movie where you, instead of Reze going back to Denji giving a simple flick on the nose, but instead changes it to giving him a hug. Then you can see Denji lowering his eyes of not sadness but love, to later Reze getting headbutt to me is brilliant. The way you see 2 characters are not different but 2 sides of the same coin. What we later is not all different, whose lives are traumatic and sad, along with both of them not having a real child or let alone being desired or loved, makes us understand and empathize and resonates with these characters, which we see with Denji and Reze. Now on my Letterboxd, there's 2 questions that you might ask. Why is it a 4.5 when I watched it the 2nd time, and why are you going back so many times to watch it? To make it short and concise and not going to rant about it, is that I can resonate with Denji a lot, and he's one of my personal favorites due to what his goals and ambitions are, wanting a simple life. And the reason why it was a 4.5 was Mappa's CGI was brief, and discussing it with, if you're not new to Mappa using CGI, they used it a couple scenes. After watching it the 2nd time, I was nitpicking and being over the top with the issue as well. I didn't want to give it a 5 due to the stereotype of how if you love a particular anime, some fandoms have a biasness with the franchise and completely ignores things due to what they love. You don't follow the Instagram, as I also put this on my top 100 favorites from 71 to 60 to 50 to officially being fucking 30 on my list. And with good reason, since it is on top 250 and it is number 53 at the time of recording this, with a good reason why this is called peak cinema. When Denji contends he's going to put Reze under arrest, Yoshida turns the line into something achingly human. It's not an act of authority but of hesitation, a fractured attempt of imposing order on the feelings he can't control. The quiet tension in the scene, framed with Yoshida's characteristic restraint, exposed a paradox at the heart of Denji's character, his desire to protect colliding with his longing to connect. In that single gesture, Yoshida distills the tragedy of the Reze arc, love and violence intertwined, each making the other inevitable. Denji wanted to be loved is something everyone on this planet wants, but nobody showed what love looked like. All they want is someone to stay, someone who won't use him and to love the boy, not Chainsaw Man. If you're an anime watcher, you can only ask is, do you think Denji craves love, or does he crave belonging more? Or if Denji were to be loved properly, how do you think that would change him? These are questions for someone that has read the manga and is caught up and knows what has happened and will happen in the story. It's something that makes me question the story. Will he ever find the love he's been chasing since the beginning? I personally think that Reze is the best girl Denji ever been with. Yes, I know her main mission was to kill him and take his heart. She had been planning for months, even working at the small cafe just to stay close to him, but what really makes Reze so interesting is that somewhere along the way, it stopped feeling like a mission. Once we see Reze wake up, when Reze and Denji start spending time together swimming, laughing, playing around in the school, walking through the parade, it's not just another setup. You could feel something changing in her. It's this tiny moment, this subtle yet powerful little thing placing her hand on her arm as she tries to anchor herself at the parade. Quiet, but she says so much. She's torn. You see in her face the emotional conflict as clear as day. Part of her wants to finish the mission, and part of her doesn't want to hurt him, because for the first time she perhaps can truly feel something real, something human. And that's what makes Reze different, because out of everyone Denji has met, she's the only one to almost love him, not Chainsaw Man, not the weapon, but Denji. It's tragic since it wasn't ever really meant to last, but that fleeting fragile connection they shared. Another indication as well, which I will admit made me cry twice when I watched it, is the last 5 minutes of when we later learn of Reze's origin. Later at the station, she's holding a small red flower, the one she got for making donation, and she throws it between her fingers. It's a soft, almost a tender reminder of Denji, the boy who made her smile like nobody else. Then we see she doesn't get on the train. She turns around and goes back to him, choosing him not as a target but as a person she wants to see again, a person she might actually love. Even at a slightly different walking pace as she goes through her usual path, the first time we see Reze walk her path through the cafe, through the walkway, through the stairway, through even the alleyway, the first time we see her walk this way, we see her marching like a soldier, just at her post and ready to start her assignment. But the second time we see her walk that way, arms are free and walks faster to Denji when she sees him wait at the cafe to run away with him. She even runs towards with the true regret and true feelings, but before she can even reach him, Makima stops her. And that scene just Reze tries to fight back to use her powers, but it's useless. Makima just kills her just like that. And the instant, not even a split second, it's the instant moment she just gets killed. Reze tries to fight back to use her powers, but it's useless. Makima just simply kills her. No negotiations, nothing. In that instant, Makima grasps on Denji's, tightening once more. She does not simply just kill Reze. She kills the possibility of Denji ever knowing true love. For as long as she's in control, Denji will always be her dog and never be free to love or be loved. Reze even questions herself before the end, wondering why she didn't kill Denji when she had the chance, and she admits, at least to herself, that she actually never went to school either. It's a quiet confession, but it's cut deep because it shows that both she and Denji were pretending to live a normal life, even for just a moment. And the most painful part, Denji waits for her. He really does wait for her. He sat there believing she would come back because to him, she meant something real. He would have a runaway with her to live the basic dream of being together, eating, laughing, and just being free. But she never comes, and the silence and empty wait says more about Denji's heart than any words could ever. Even after everything, he believed in love. And that'd be most a tragic thing about Denji, his ability to hope, even the world keeps proving him wrong. I also like to mention another character that as well got a lot of character development in this arc, even though it's not a lot due to the story focusing on Denji and Reze, is Aki along with the Angel Devil. These two are a complicated friendship due to Aki not liking devils at all, along with being friends with one or pretending to be friends with one like the Angel Devil, who's the strongest devil if you're one lazy wants to die and not take away life. We later see an important scene where Aki holds on the Angel Devil, who tells him that he wants to die, and even today is the day it's meant to be. Then we see Aki grab his hand, risking his life to save the devil. Then we see that the Angel Devil gets frustrated and asks Aki why he grabbed his hand if he wants to die. Aki straightforward tells the Angel Devil, "Of course I don't want to die." They later ask how much lifespan goes on, and Angel Devil then frowns and tells them 2 months. Aki later says to the Angel Devil, "If you want to die, then die far away from me." It's an act of recognition. It tells Angel, you're worth saving even if it costs me. It's one of those moments that are just gnarly and tragic and just tough simultaneously. And let's not forget, the main girl Denji wants, #fuck Makima. The fact there are people who don't know what happens, those who do are just not ready for this. And I'll be honest, I think Makima is a top 5 antagonist, but the scene that got me on the 4th watch and I realized it was the final hug with Denji and Reze. Earlier when Denji goes to the movies with Makima, there's just this scene where they watch a film showing a mother hug her son. The audiences see his reaction, he starts crying. On the surface, it may seem like odd or overly sentimental response, but quietly this moment reveals the hollowness of Denji's inner world. Growing up in isolation and abuse, he has never experienced unconditional affection, especially that from a mother's embrace. The image of that hug touches something deep inside, a longing for love that is soft, genuine, and given without strings attached at all. This moment of vulnerability becomes emotional, foreshadowing for his later encounter with Reze. The framing and the emotional tone mirrored that movie scene with Reze embracing Denji on the beach after their fight. The hug is not just a gesture of forgiveness or affection, it's the physical manifestation of the comfort Denji had only ever witnessed on a movie screen. In that instant, he experiences for the first time the warmth and intimacy he'd been silently craving. Reise's hug is transparent, colored with violence, betrayal, and the harboring of loss. Finally, Denji receives the affection he has always wanted, but it comes sorrow-filled and sad. Finally, Denji receives the affection he's always wanted, but it comes in a sorrow-filled moment, reminding us that in this world, true human connection always slips through one grasp. This specific parallel is something I recognized on the 4th watch, and the more times I see it on the 5th or the 6th, perfectly symbolizes one of the main haunting themes in Chainsaw Man. The ache of yearning for a normal human love in a world where love and pain are inseparable. As some of you may have seen from my Instagram, TikTok, or Letterboxd, I've seen this movie 6 times now, 4 in IMAX, once in regular, once in Dolby, and honestly, it still hits me just as hard every single fucking time. Regardless of format, setting, it pulls me right back into this world, into its atmosphere, heartbreak, raw emotion. It's one of those rare movies that I come back and still feel everything all over again, sometimes even more deeply than the first time. The Razor Arc wasn't just a story, it's an experience. It's to reshape how I view connection, pain, and what it really means to care for someone you've never meant to have. It captures that fleeting feeling of something beautiful which is never going to last. It makes you be somehow grateful that it ever happened at all. It's a strange sort of emotional paradox or loop one feels or that even happened or ever happened at all. It is a strange sort of emotional paradox, one that hurts but feels human in the purest possible way. I'm gone back to the theater so many times that some of you just start asking, what is it about this movie? What does it affect you so much? And honestly, I ask myself the same thing, but every fucking time I watch it, I find another piece of the answer, whether it's in the quiet pauses, the looks between these characters, or the moments where the story lets silence what words can't. It handles emotion differently, not just sadness for the sake of tragedy, but layered, but about vulnerability, connection, and the price paid for opening yourself up to someone when everything that surrounds you is cruel and unforgiving. The Razor Arc doesn't just tell a story of love and loss, it makes you feel the weight of it, like if you lived through it yourself. And what blows my mind is that this is the only second arc. There are so many more to come in this story that will get darker and more chaotic and more emotionally devastating, yet this one already feels monumental. It sets a tone, builds a foundation, not just for Denji's journey, but for how we experience that journey with him. But this movie, this one's a special movie to me. It's something that I know I'll never get over. There's a deeper meaning in every frame, the symbolism, the small details, the ways each and every scene can be interpreted differently when you watch it with your own emotions. It's one of those stories that can grow with you, and I could literally speak out this for hours. The themes, the direction, the visuals, the sound design. But to put it simply, this movie gets me. It gets me every motherfucking time. No matter how long it's been, it reminds me of why certain stories stick with us long after credits roll. But this movie itself, I can't explain this movie to anyone but to myself. I can go through this and look at these scenes and just feel the heavy weight of this character, Denji, and the other Reze. One thing that I completely forgot to discuss is the music, which is really fucking good. The music in Chainsaw Man is a force of a lot of emotions, with angelic and horrifying and breathtakingly beautiful all at the same time. It doesn't just accompany the story, it breathes life into every frame I'm seeing, and I feel it in every frame. It doesn't just accompany the story, it takes life in every frame I see. Where the score really transcends, which is in my opinion the best scene in the entire movie, is the pool scene. The melody feels weightless, suspended in air, with the mix of piano and the strings that ripple like water reflections, tender, almost holy, as if time itself were holding its breath. Sitting in theaters surrounded by that sound, it was like almost impossible not to cry. The music captured everything with Denji and Reze. Couldn't say in the silence, longing, innocence, the quiet ache of fleeting peace. It was angelic, pure enough to hurt. The tone shifts, the final battle strike rises like a storm. Layers of percussion and stored synths crash together when Denji's trapped Reze. The score twists between tragedy and triumph. It's horrifically epic, the kind of sound that digs into your spine and makes your heart race. Like deadass, it's like that fucking good. Yet beneath the chaos, there's still something heartbreakingly beautiful and mournful undertone that the melody whispers sorrow through the destruction. The music of the Razor Arc doesn't just tell you how to feel, it's what makes you feel in the first place. The music of the Razor Arc doesn't just tell you how to feel, but it feels in first place. It's fun and amazing in its humanity and angelic in its stillness, which turns horrifying in its intensity and epic in its scope. Each note sends you goosebumps because in Chainsaw Man's so violent and tender and achingly alive moments, it feels amazing. This movie is just something I can't get over, and I don't think I'll ever get over. Whether it's before Oscars or during the Netflix nominations or the awards, this is a movie that I truly don't think I will ever get out of my system. Let alone that this is, like I said, one of the few arcs that is yet to come. People even question why I even cried. Why is it this movie so disturbing for you? And why is it this is a movie that you went to spend so much money on just to see the same result? And I always tell these people, it's not the result that matters the most, it's the impact about this movie. I can't get over enough how this movie makes me feel. I laugh and cry at the same time, or I get sad and smile knowing that I can't change anything. It's one of those movies where you see the ending and you're like, I wish I can stop it and let this be happy, but I can't, because we're not in that universe, and we can just see how horrible and horrific these things can be, and we just want the happy ending that Denji wants, and later on we see is Reze that wants it. And this movie is just a phenomenal masterpiece. I can't get over this movie, and I know I'm going rambling, but this movie is what I would say is a masterpiece. I've always said this before, I will say this and I will say it again. Chainsaw Man is the best media to embrace love and desire relationships and how it is portrayed. It's not a gooner anime, it's a love desiring anime. Also, I'm gonna rewatch the Reze arc for the 7th time, with this before or after Predator Badlands, I have no idea. But if someone doesn't hear from me or my letterbox activity within the 24 hours, call 911, because Fujimoto gave me all the emotions: happiness, sadness, and depression all in one. If you haven't seen Chainsaw Man, please watch it. This is a movie. If you haven't seen Chainsaw Man, please watch Chainsaw Man. This is a movie you're never gonna regret watching in theater. Please watch. Have a good day.
I would never cry to a Frank Ocean song. Let's be honest. I am a man.